feel different than this? And why does this provoke a different emotional response than this? Music is everywhere. In our movies, ads, and political campaigns. But what if it's doing more than just entertaining? What if it's insidiously shaping our thoughts, feelings, and decisions without us even knowing? Music is a powerful tool for emotional influence, and this power can potentially be misused for manipulation. So, how can societies navigate the ethical challenges of music-based emotional manipulation in media and politics, considering the subconscious psychological effects, and the absence of regulatory measures to protect informed decision-making? When we listen to music, it doesn't just enter our ears and register in our brain as sound. It triggers a group of interconnected brain structures called the limbic system, central to processing emotions, memory, and behavior. Specific structures within this system respond in distinct ways to a musical stimuli. The amygdala, known for its role in emotional processing, becomes active in response to music that evokes strong feelings involving certain musical qualities such as consonance and dissonance. Meanwhile, the hippocampus, essential for forming memories, is engaged when we hear familiar songs, helping to enhance memory recall. Inside the hypothalamus, the nucleus accumbens, associated with pleasure and reward, releases dopamine when we hear enjoyable music, explaining those chills we feel.
Linkin Park. I haven't heard this in years. They truly helped me overcome my era of depression. Summer of 2003, I fondly remember the time I became non-emo. A changed man, if you will, because of them.
The old man just witnessed a concept known as memes. No, memes. Music evoked autobiographical memories. Music often accompanies significant life events encoded in memory alongside the details. When heard later, it acts as a key to unlock these vivid recollections. It also has a way of steering how we feel, think, and respond, since our current mood directly influences how we process information. This ties into a psychological phenomenon known as affective priming, where music, an emotional stimulus, influences how we interpret subsequent information. Emotionally charged music can prime us, making us more attuned to messages that match its emotional tone. This makes music a significant tool for persuasion. These effects often operate subconsciously, without our explicit awareness. This involuntary response falls under the field of psychoacoustics, which is the study of how sound affects us. Producers leverage this concept to use sound waves to evoke emotions. Different musical elements contribute to these effects. Fast tempos evoke happiness and excitement, while slow tempos suggest sadness or relaxation. Harmony sets an emotional tone. Major keys are commonly for happiness, whereas minor keys are for sadness. Diminished chords add instability, often used in suspense. Looking at instruments, strings typically convey sorrow, brass, triumph, woodwinds, varied feelings, and percussion, fear or rhythm. These elements, on top of authentic, relatable lyrics, can deeply resonate with listeners. And marketers and politicians know this. You recognized it instantly, didn't you? That's the power of advertising. Catchy jingles and recognizable melodies, such as McDonald's, thanks McDonald's, create a strong brand recognition. This directly evokes emotions and subconsciously changes perception. Advertisers use music to align with target demographics and desired lifestyles. For instance, luxury brands use elegant and sophisticated music to evoke exclusivity, while technology products use sleek sounds to imply innovation. Have you noticed the slow, calming music in a fine dining restaurant that is designed to make you order more from the menu, versus the upbeat tempo in a fast food place to encourage quick turnover so that they can serve more customers? In film and television, music is an emotional compass, working together with visuals and dialogue to shape perception, build suspense, and elicit empathy or fear. It sets the mood and atmosphere, preparing us for the type of story we are about to experience. To demonstrate this,
on April 4th, 2004, it was a dark time. I lost my cat, and I had to do an inquiry project of all things. But somehow, with the help of people who moved their mouse down to this button, yes, this one right here, and click subscribe, I found the strength to carry on.
Leitmotifs tie music to characters or ideas, guiding our interpretation and showing character development. It creates a level of immersion, making scenes feel more real and guiding the flow of the story. However, this cueing of music can be problematic when this power is used to manipulate the audience's interpretation of the scene. In reality television shows such as The Apprentice, music often dictates how viewers should interpret participants, turning them into cartoon characters, and thus removing the need for critical thinking by the audience.
With a 40-inch hose.
But we're not looking for an actual octopus here, are we?
Could a hose potentially be like if you stretched an octopus out?
Tense or discordant music can underscore a moment of conflict or a participant's failure, shaping them as underperformers in the audience's mind. Similarly, in nature documentaries, music often serves to heighten drama and emotion.
Eyes and nostrils sit high, just above the waterline.
But if these shows are truly intended to help us comprehend the natural world as it is, then the use of dramatic scores works against that goal.
But male and female, when they court, blow bubbles at one another.
Musical manipulation isn't just limited to entertainment. Music has long been a powerful tool in political movements, from protest songs to national anthems. Upbeat popular songs are used to energize crowds and build anticipation for a speaker. For instance, in the United States, Barack Obama's 2008 campaign famously used Stevie Wonder's Signed, Sealed, Delivered, I'm Yours to evoke a sense of hope and broad appeal. Music also plays a role in negative political advertising, where opponents are often demonized. Dissonant or ominous music is used to accompany accusations against a rival candidate to amplify a persuasive message, even with dubious claims. Now, music's power to manipulate our perceptions is clear, from media to politics. But what isn't clear is how to address music-based emotional manipulation. While general laws like truth in advertising exist, they typically focus on factual claims or false statements. But music is subjective as well as emotional, and its often subconscious impact is hard to prove as deceptive under these laws. Developing specific regulations for music's emotional influence is challenging. Existing ethical guidelines in media and advertising do not have any provisions for music's emotional impact. Without proper regulation, the burden falls heavily on public awareness and media literacy. While media literacy is crucial, teaching individuals to recognize subconscious influence is inherently challenging. It requires understanding psychological processes which are often beyond standard education. Addressing these challenges requires a multifaceted approach. Educational initiatives are necessary to increase public awareness of music's psychological effects and its manipulative potential. We need to integrate media and music literacy into the school curriculum to teach about brain responses, musical elements, and how music is used in advertising and politics. Of course, case studies and practical analysis from real media can make this tangible. I mean, to be fair, you can always just convert my inquiry into a textbook format. It's as easy as... Public awareness campaigns through online resources, documentaries, and community workshops can also educate a wider audience. Specifically, engaging musicians themselves can help raise awareness. Beyond education, there's a possibility for developing ethical guidelines for responsible music use. Different guidelines could emphasize music use in entertainment versus news or politics. Given the complexities involved in regulating music's emotional influence, a multifaceted approach becomes essential. Music moves us, sometimes without our knowing. It shapes moods, triggers memories, and steers thoughts beneath the surface of awareness. This power is often harnessed in media and politics, not just to entertain or inspire, but to manipulate. It can rally crowds, sell ideologies, or build trust, all while slipping past our consciousness. Yet, the ethics of this practice remain largely unexamined. With no clear regulations in place and little public understanding of its psychological reach, music-driven influence often goes unnoticed and unchallenged. That's why education matters. People need tools to recognize how music shapes perception, with classroom media literacy and public campaigns to break down emotional manipulation. Music is a way of connection, not control.